As you can hear, we're on track. I'm just about ready to get you guys included. The first thing I want to know is what's everybody driving. That's the exciting bit of the new season. Now, the popular cars are gaining weight penalties this year, so the Supra and the Lamborghini particularly are affected by that. Welcome in, everyone. Qualifying is imminent. We're going straight into it. Hello everyone who's driving, good luck to you guys. Good to see you all again. Thanks for the welcomes in the game chat. Francois, how are you doing? Thanks for all the chat hype, guys. It's great to have a few of you here already. Always appreciated. Got an atmosphere in the chat room as well as on track. I believe Mixter is clear to join whenever he can. Yeah, he says a couple of minutes. Fingers crossed it's a smooth stream for you. If it starts to break up, if anything isn't working, shout me in the chat during the race. There isn't much I can do to fix it, but I'll do my best. Yeah, we are hitting summertime here, both at Autopolis, but here in our sim racing rooms as well. We are joined tonight for the first time by PR1 Fire. If you recognise the name, you'll have seen him on time trial top 10s several times. Both he and Chio look to be in the Beetle. This is all new to me right here, right now. We've got Gravender switching to the Ferrari. Don't even ask me team names, guys. I'm going to have to catch up as quick as you. So the Talisman running Beetle with Kettenen. West is in the RX. Swoyle looking like he's in the McLaren. Nearly everybody's changed. This is fantastic. Abramson. So the BWR drivers, whose team name I'll check a little later, have moved to Ferrari. We've got Egerlanders in the Audi. Sorry, Tornroth in the Audi and Egerlanders, so teammates. Now interesting, Lasazaya there is remaining in the Mercedes but already has new colours. This hour and a half is definitely not your bag if you're showing your Danish roots there. Yeah, fair enough. Trollar is here to support the Danes. Metalhead's going to try and shout from Belgium. Thank you. Do your best, mate. Do your best. I might just hear it. Alright. So, we eagerly await the first qualifying session of Season 14. We're at Autopolis. It should be an hour's race. After qualifying, I'll do a quick rundown of what I've been told has changed. It's a cool pack of cars, so the only continuity I can see here is the Mercedes drivers, if I am not mistaken. So Kettenen Talisman driver, so former Supra driver. It looks like maybe as a team they might have made this decision. So Lasazaya, as we said, in the Mercedes. Great to see some Audis out there. This is a completely new field for me. This is going to be a whole new set of learnings. One thing I can tell you that's new about the rules: the drivers can now only do a single stint on super soft tyres. Before, they had liberty to mix and match their strategy on that tyre. They are now limited to only one super soft stint, so they're going to be playing that card to the best effect they can in the race. Unfortunately, we're getting a little bit of joining issues. But hopefully what they've just done has fixed it. I can still see one backward facing. Alright, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. This is looking promising. Wouldn't be a Gran Turismo stream without a few cars going backwards in the pit lane, would it? So yeah, ordinarily these guys would be taking a few weeks off in what they call silly season, where they kind of drop their hats and don't take it too seriously for a few weeks. They've actually decided to advance this season to almost immediately after the end of the last, which we were broadcasting if you weren't here before. In light of many of the drivers not needing to travel or not being able to travel yet. There's kind of this window of opportunity for the guys to turn the summer break into a season, so I think we'll call it the sweaty season unofficially. This is only my second season of casting, and I joined on invitation halfway through the last season, so I've done what would be around 5 or 6 races now. It's a new experience for me. This is the first opportunity I've had to run as a caster. But the feedback was really good after the first one, so we decided to kind of run with it. And it's been brilliant so far. I'll be able to hopefully introduce you to Mixter. He's a former champion and driver in the series and has a fair idea of the characters in the field, so makes for a good co-commentary team. I'm just hoping he's not having any technical struggles, but I think he'll be here exactly at the right moment. I've got a feeling. Alright, I think we're on the first flying laps. If not the second, but I'm pretty sure there's only been time for an out lap so far. We've got Swirl at the head of the field in the McLaren. It looks like he's going to be the first to set a time. However, SSGr3 there, making the most of the slipstream, if that is beneficial at this track. I seem to think in the power sections it can certainly shave the lap time. Yeah, the guys are super into it. Yeah, I totally agree, Troller there. They really do look after the series. So West with an early pole time there in the RX. He sets a 44, but Egerlanders has already come in. And Fire takes us into the 43s. So immediately stamps his mark. He's nearly 8/10 ahead of the next driver. So we'll find out if anyone's got a response to that. There is another driver just coming through. Let's see if we can catch them. Unfortunately, I've got no references to who this is. This is Abramson. He can only manage 8th at the moment. So Fire sets the early pace. We're looking at Egerlanders in the Audi to see if he can improve. Now Swoyle's opening lap definitely wasn't ideal because he's down there in 11th. We're going to watch him as he crosses the line. Yeah, no, I can say they really do get fully... You know, there are almost pages of rules and setups for this series. They really do look after it. It's grown from a series made of only a few drivers competing casually, but it's evolved over 14 seasons into a really nicely run show. And they're all I shouldn't jinx them, but they're an on-time bunch as well. Right, Swirl here with his second flying lap, I believe. It looks like he's staying out for it. He hasn't improved. We've seen cars dive into the pits. Probably not a shock. Now, can SSGr3 get an improvement in that Mercedes? He has gone better. That's 3 tenths up. Now, T5 pitting, Chio pitting, Tornroth also. So it's a 10-minute session, which means the guys are making the most now of a chance to refresh those tyres. Now I've managed to catch Abramson here, who's still on a flyer. However, the sector time... This could just be an in-lap. I believe it is. So, it looks like outlaps for the majority of the field again. Welcome everyone, thank you for joining me for this opening round of the series. It's nice when the slate gets refreshed. Just waiting for the second wave of hot laps to begin. T5 Black with a good opening time. He's less than a second from the storming lap set by Fire. So is anyone going to have an answer to that lap? What I didn't see is how much of a slipstream Fire got during that lap. Let's keep an eye on this group as they begin flying lap number 2 or 3 in some cases. Hey, I'm off would be a fantastic co-commentator. I have to say though, Mixter is an awesome co-commentator if he's able to join. I'm thinking he might make it with us in time for race anyway. That's the main thing. This is more of a grid setup qualifying, but now in the last season the top 8 cars must start on medium tyres, and I believe that's still the case for this year. So the strategies of the top 8 are affected by their qualifying position. Let's try and get the time up again and see if Fire, now entering that tricky middle sector, the long left-hander that just refuses to open out. I think we can join him on board. He's just outside of his time at the moment, but can he gain a second, a tenth of a second or two in the most technical part of the track, which is the very twisty final sector? Shoot ahead to Egerlanders here, who is the next car in line from Fire. He'll want to be holding onto that front row if he can. He's got a 1.5 tenths there to T5 Black. Oh, but that looks like he's off. That's a big off. That is the lap done. He will reset, I'm sure, and maybe try and scrape one last lap together. Right, the new times are coming in. We're watching third place man T5. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Much appreciated. Shintek. The liveries are awesome in this field. Yeah, they don't disappoint. So Chio ups his lap into third, and T5 Black was not on a flyer or has made a mistake, so he's going to be looking... He needs this lap. This is his final... Most of the guys' final laps now. Egerlanders holds on to second, but Chio with a really strong run now. I wonder if he's going again. Let's keep an eye on his sector times. Now, I didn't notice Fire improve his time. If he did, that went under the radar for me. But he is sitting strong there in the mid 43s. Yeah, Shintek, I don't have any experience with the G29, but if anyone in chat understands a better answer, you're welcome to speak. Chio is a mere 0.008 off of second place, so he is gunning now for that front row on the grid. We'll keep an eye on T5 Black, who certainly needs a boost on this final lap if he wants to reclaim that third place. But is Chio on a flyer? It's not faster from Chio. So now it's down to T5 Black to set a time. It's not faster from T5 Black. West looks like he's improved. West into fourth. What a lap there. Now Gravender's still to cross the line. It's not the lap. And we're going to find who else is on track. I think there's one car left running. No, he stopped. So a strong lap there from PL on Fire in the Beetle, which looks to be the car to beat here. All of the Beetles, well, 3 Beetles there in the top 6. Kettinen the only other Beetle that just didn't maybe hook up the lap he wanted there. We know he's got pace. Egerlander's the lead Audi in the low 44s, and Chio, those two near identical for pace. West with that late lap in the RX has put the Mazda on row 2. That's going to be exciting to see how that car handles. Yeah, Shintek, yeah, if anyone in the chat has any knowledge, you're welcome to help out. Unfortunately, not my area of knowledge. That sounds like we might have a Mixter in the building.
Hello.
Good day. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks
Sorry
for joining us.
Sorry for being late.
It's okay. It's okay. You have only missed a few qualifying laps. You're here for the main event.
Cool. Yeah, me and my dad, we share the same interest with motorcycles, so we got caught up in coffee and bikes.
Coffee and bikes. I can't even criticize that at all. That sounds just excellent. Well, thank you for breaking off something else to come and do this. It's good to have you back.
Yeah, it's nice to be here. New season and all.
I know. It feels... I was saying it's only been a week off, but it still feels fresh. We've got new liveries. Most guys are in a different car. Fire has joined the series for the moment. So...
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I have noticed the absence of Firapennen at the moment. I don't know if he's in a second lobby or just not available today. One or two names that haven't come through yet from the former split. However, there could be drivers who have qualified the day before, so we'll keep an eye on that, in the main lobby.
Yeah, that might be the case with a pre-qualifier
Yes,
Sunday.
Yes, so we will let you know once they've got that set of times. Often one of the guys is kind enough to post the final times in chat for us, so we may get that live for you. Yeah, so I was sort of describing before, Mixter, this is kind of a summer holiday silly season turned into a real season, isn't it? With the absence of a traditional summer break. It's kind of straight back into it.
Yes, indeed. I was in the race meeting last Monday that we had, and they made a few changes, not too many radical ones. But one thing that is really cool, the drivers are going to be able to race on one stint on super soft tires, but only one stint, so they can like really push hard. But they can only use them one time.
Yeah, so the timing of that stint could be critical to the race in terms of where they're placed in traffic or not in traffic, as it might be.
Exactly, and it's going to be even more confusing for us commentators.
Well, it's okay, you know, it's not like we got confused last season.
Yeah.
That reminds me, actually, I have got an update on the changes from season 13. So as well as what Mixter has just announced, the fuel amount, which was formerly 50 litres, is going up to 60, so they're going to be slightly heavier fuel to start. We will see standing grid starts on particular circuits. I think it's the longer tracks. I think that was a rule which stood before. The time of day on track will be randomly selected, so apart from rain and nighttime, the guys basically don't get a briefing on the time of day, so they have to kind of adapt on the fly.
But that's only for the race, not the qualifier. The qualifier is a set time.
That's correct. So what comes next, they won't know as much as we do. Now, during this season, the points will be tallied from the 7 best results from a total of 10. So the guys can all afford 1 or 2 either difficult results or disconnects. It's just kind of a way of covering everyone during the season. So they're looking for their best 7. The first and last races will be double heats of 40 minutes with reverse grids in the second heat. Now that actually tells me that we're in for a double race tonight, unless I'm misreading that.
I think we decided on a double race, the first race. People were, this and that about it, but I think in the end, that's what we came to a conclusion with.
Awesome. So we're in for a reverse grid start in the second heat, as we've seen before. Which also means the final 2 races in this grid, they will go into the B lobby, and the 2 winning B drivers will be promoted to the second race A lobby. So there's a lot to keep track of here. This is going to get quite lively. And positions 1 to 3 will get an additional 10 points this season. So it's now 170 up for grabs for the winner. So the only other change really worth noting, just while we wait for a lobby to get rebuilt for the race, the Supra has a 2% weight penalty, and the Huracan Ford GT as well. They're getting a percentage weight penalty. So as a result, we aren't seeing those cars in the field. So that might have been one of the major reasons that there's such a widespread change of car. So, we're running Ferraris, Audis. There's a Mazda RX in there. So everything we knew about the series before is pretty much turned on its head, which should make it kind of exciting, actually.
Yeah, I saw that Svold's team has moved over from the Huracan to the McLaren.
Yes. And there was only 1 in the qualifier, so I'm wondering if 1 or 2 hopefully will make it to the grid.
It should be Svoil and Solon.
Solon, of course.
Yeah.
Shintek in chat, Robbins has given his thoughts on your matter, mate. If you're still there, let us know if you didn't see Robin's comment. I hope that helps. Some excitement in chat for McLaren and Ferrari. Thanks to all of you who've returned, by the way.
I can't see the chat, so what is he commenting?
Shintek was asking advice during qualifying on G29 pedals. If that's an area. Robbins has already given the answer, which is to use a spring and rubber stopper. There you go. Fun fact. But fear not. I think the question is whether he's still there in the stream to get the answer. All right, we're just gonna wait for this lobby to be fired up. How's the last week or two treated you? Managed to take a
Quite
break?
well. Uh, well, not really. Mostly been working and also studying. My dad has his own electrician company, and he's also from previously a high school teacher within like the electrician. What do you call it? My mind went blank. Well, anyway, he was a high school teacher in the like electrician installation program. So instead of sending me to like, since nobody hires anybody like a composite technician that I am during Corona, I started working for my dad and took an apprenticeship instead. So I'm apprenticing in becoming an electrician under his, studying under him.
That sounds
so
awesome.
when he feels that I'm,
and you're
so
getting
when he
very
feels that I'm
honest
ready,
feedback. Like, is it a tricky relationship? Or
Oh
is
yeah,
he very patient?
He's probably the grumpiest teacher in all of Sweden.
Claim to fame.
He gives no quarter to unruly students, and he was also well, when he was teaching, I was in a younger class, but basically middle school. Some kid was going to like report him to the school principal, but he just yelled back, file a report if you want, I don't care, and then he just threw him out of the classroom because he was, making a mess and just monkeying about in the classroom, and my dad doesn't take any shit, so but he's a good teacher. A bit stressed sometimes because he's running his own company, as company small company owners are a bit stressed over time.
Yeah,
and it's going fairly well.
And usually stressed out of purely caring so much for the thing, but that doesn't make it easier to handle. All right.
So it's going quite well, and when he feels that I'm ready, he's gonna just send me off to a legitimate evaluation. Like a third-party evaluator is going to evaluate my skills and what I know, and for 3 days, and then when I'm hired at his company for 3 months, I get my electrician's license, installations license. So.
And then it begins.
So, yeah, while I still I don't have anything to do, nobody's gonna hire a composite technician in these days, so I might as well, do something worthwhile.
Yeah.
So just putting more skills under my belt.
Yeah, fair play for just picking up an industry, basically. Like, it's not the easiest thing to do, especially if you've already been focused in one specialism. To park that. I
just went from 2 years of studies to even more studies. So it's going well. So how's your 2 weeks been treating you?
Very good, man.
Or 1 week, maybe.
Very good. I've just, in a geeky note, upgraded my system to basically I'm sorting a PC out so that we can make these broadcasts even smoother. So I'm getting my first broad stream ready PC, basically, instead of the laptop which is screaming in the corner when I do this stuff. I was saying earlier, I have to have the fan pointed directly at it just to make sure it stays cool. But other than that, a few really good races on here. The CRN series is still very much underway. We're like mid-season. Had a very, very close hour-and-a-half race at the Nürburgring GP, so yeah, the racing's been good, and work is kind of continuing enough. It's quiet relatively in the kind of animation film side for me, but there's enough of it not to have to like make a plan B yet. So I'm just grateful to have people still calling me up saying they need stuff. That's kind of how it goes. If people stop ringing me, then I know something's got to change. So yeah, and luckily still have a little bit of time to cut out for these things, which I don't know, I can't help it. I get excited every week for this now. So good spot.
Two commentators hanging on for dear life.
We're on the rear wing of that McLaren by like 2 fingers, you know, getting dragged down the main straight. Good spot in chat from MSX. Europenan is in. Stinigadan has joined us in the lobby. We've got Erdin. Got a few extra names already coming through, so I think we've got a packed lobby A. If you didn't catch it before, this is a double sort of sprint race, a sprint being 40 minutes, so it's a fairly long sprint, but the 2 lowest placed drivers in this split will go into lobby B for the second race, and the 2 fastest drivers in lobby B in race 1 will get promoted to this lobby. So there's a lot to play for, and it is a reverse.
Is that confirmed, or are we guessing? Because I don't have the changes.
I actually have this in the rules doc, so I'm gonna.
Okay, you got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with it, and we'll keep an eye on whether that happens. But I was lucky enough to get an update from Bornhall earlier from Peter.
Okay, cool.
Apologies, I haven't sent you that actually. I can get you a copy of that.
No, it doesn't matter because I can't see it anyway.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm on my I don't have a computer and my phone is by the window, pulling internet.
Pulling all the signal.
And I ran out of data, so I had to pay £5 for unlimited data for 24 hours because I get my update for another 16 gigabytes the day after tomorrow.
You've got some data hunger going on there, mate.
Yeah, I accidentally downloaded a whole playlist on Spotify, and it was, I don't know how much it was, probably 15 gigabytes of music. That
Wow.
I thought the playlist was shorter because I didn't scroll through the whole thing, and then just started downloading the whole thing, and it was like a few hundred songs, I think. And it's also like the best quality of the sound as well, so it just tanked my data plan.
Oh boy, you need to join Trollar's network and chat because his company doubled that for no reason this month. That's the kind of error that you want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
My plan is pretty cheap, like $20 for 16 gigabytes and free calls, and then because I got it on like a student thing because I was a student back then, and I'm not. Well, technically I am a student now, so.
Yeah, make the most of that.
So like $5 for unlimited, surf. I'm cool with that.
I'm just eyeing up Firapenen's livery here. He has full-on Carlsberged this car. Full-on
nice.
Carlsberged this car. Like, Carlsberg brutal. Now, I would be mighty impressed if that's the official car sponsor as well. That's some serious serious
Maybe
clout.
just likes the beer.
It's a cool paint job though, the fade from the bright green to mid green to blue.
Yeah.
And actually the first Honda I've seen in the field as well. I've not checked out.
Oh yeah.
So again, another manufacturer. It looks like the guys are just ready to change their car and just enjoy something else. I think.
Yeah, I think so too, because it's sort of a silly season that became sort of a serious season.
Yeah.
And I talked to Swoyle, and he was like, "Yeah, the McLaren is just too slow." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, so you're not gonna drive it?" He's like, "No, I'm not gonna drive it." And then I see the update on PlayStation messages. We're gonna drive the McLaren. And I was like, "What?"
We can't miss out.
Yeah. Oh, the field as well.
Trolla, you're getting lag. Is everyone getting lag, guys, or is it running okay at the moment?
Oh yeah, can everybody hear me okay over the stream? Because I can't check that myself.
We are good for lag, thank you guys, and just tell me if you can't hear Mixter enough. His level should be good, but if you need to hear more of Mixter, then he sounds good, is the feedback. You're sounding good.
Okay, cool.
Alright, now it could be a grid start, because this is a sprint race. I'm going to expect a grid start. Usually there's a formation lap, however, I'm going to be prepared for the opposite here. I'm going to treat it like a race start, and it's going to be so underwhelming if they don't. We're waiting for the green lights. The first race of season 14 here at Autopolis. I'm seeing wheel spin.
Yeah, that's a great start.
It's a good start. It's all go. We're going to have to watch out for turn 1 here. Notorious in this game for causing an incident or two. Bit of lag there in the Audi. I hope that's not going to affect the progression of the guys. Clean run. Beautiful start. I've got to give the guys that. Fire leads the field down to Egerlanders. Solon in third joins the field. T5 with a good start in fourth. It's looking clean at the moment. Let's keep an eye further back here. Looks like Fearpennon already trying to make the move but avoid the contact in the hairpin. It's a very narrow braking zone at the apex there. Beautiful run from the guys. We have got a car at the back. Somebody has fallen off the standings. See if we can pick them up. It's Tornroth. Something's happened to Tornroth. Let's just see if we can catch anything there. It was going down into that first right kink. We didn't see why, but it looks like a wheel or two on the grass might have caused him some grief there. First time racing down the hill, that awkward right-hander. Do not want to drop a wheel here. Now West looks like he's lost some positions. I think he was a little higher placed than he is now. There were a few guys who filtered into the grid after qualifying. And it looks like he's right down in the battle pack there. Hopefully nothing too serious. Here we get to grips with the RX, having been a Jaguar driver in the last season. What a start though. Really clean stuff.
You can see Egelanders is having a bit of a lag issue here.
And it looks like
Did we drop fire?
two guys have gone straight into the pits.
Oh, okay.
Now is that a strategic
Switching out tires?
move? Yeah. Now those guys had to start on mediums. The top 8 are like regulated to start on mediums. So could that just be a strategic move? So there we go. Fire is now down in P9. But he is onto the racing softs immediately. So look out for Fire. And I think T5 Black playing a very similar strategy here. He's already onto the softs. Right, knowing where to look is the next thing. We've got Egerlanders leading the field away. We are seeing some lag. I really hope it settles down for the guys, because it's an incredibly effective defense mechanism, but not nice if you're the following car.
Yeah, Solon doesn't want to do a really sketchy dive on an inside or something if he has that much lag.
Exactly.
Just shunting him off the track.
We see here Gravender in a battle pack of at least 4 cars here. He was pressuring West there in the RX, but it looks like that's just calmed down a little bit for the moment. Back to the front of the grid where Solon in the McLaren putting the pressure on that mid-engined Audi, which is a strong car here. Interesting to see how the two balance out over the course of a race. Now I'm just going to wait and see how the lap times are stacking up. This does look like a 40-minute race. I think we are in for the double. Again, the medium tyres straight off of Egerlanders there. For those in chat, Fire pitted on lap 1 to get rid of the medium tyres. So he's decided there's no running pace in that tyre. Be interesting to see whether he can progress through the field. We've got a bit of
some
a
fight here for a second.
Yeah, let's catch it. We've got Fearpennon up the inside now. It's going to turn into an outside line. double left-hander here before the hairpin. Needs to hang it out and then take the apex. He has done it, but it's it's taken a push.
A bit of late braking there.
Bit of late braking, nothing too severe. I think those guys will let that one fly. Let's quickly see how that looked on board with Fearpennon here. He had second. I mean, he had claim to the corner, but just, whoa, the understeer there.
Oh, yeah.
Touch and go, really, there, but kept it clean.
Really skillful from Abramson to see that he's coming a bit deep and just try to avoid.
Yeah. Yeah,
taking up both of them.
Save both their races there, exactly. Oh, let's keep an eye back here as well, because West is still in battles. It's Swoyle in the McLaren. Fellow team.
Swoyle is trying really hard to push up here.
Yeah, he looks keen to make the move. If we can do a quick check for tyres. So it's a medium running West, and it's a soft running Swoyle. No wonder he's on fire.
So Swoyle must have started outside of top 8. I don't know what his qualifying was.
No, same for myself, but I think you're right. He's obviously straight onto the soft tyre in this race, which means he's going to be on a charge. Can he get the momentum down into turn 1? It's one of the major overtaking points. Bear in mind that West right on the tail of Gravender as well. No, sorry, West is further ahead.
Moving up here on the inside.
With the inside line.
Oh, a bit of a touch there, I think.
Well defended from West. I really thought the move was done. However, the next is a right-hander too, so this should play in favour of Swoyle. But West has this uncanny ability
Still hanging
to
on.
hang out on the outside. Now, are we going to see another move into the hairpin? This we saw last lap, further up the field, cleanly done. I think West just needing to keep his momentum and now fend off the attention of Stina Gadan.
Yeah, but now Stina Gadan is moving up on the right-hand side of him.
Now keep an eye here, because Fire, having pitted off the mediums, has inevitably been caught up in this fight, and if the guys ahead are really battling, he has got no option but to be patient and soak up some of the time loss here. So is that going to affect his position later in the race? This could be fascinating. Wide Audi back there. I couldn't see who. I think it was Egerlanders. It was. He's recovered it well. Combo of lag.
You can see the camera going right and left because of the lag.
Slightly erratic driving style caused by lag. Solon is clear at the moment. That's with the pit stop of Egerlanders. So Solon in clear air and running the medium tyres. So he's going to maximise those for now. Are we going to see him stay out and do a full stint? Yeah, it looks like at the moment. Clear lead as we go into lap 5. Now, nearly 3 seconds back, we've got Fearpennon, who's now defending Abramson. Abramson has a great run. He's already alongside here. Contact again between these two. The fight is on. The Ferrari outpacing the Honda in the exit there. Just got hooked up nicely.
Yeah, really nice pass block there from Fearpennon.
And
or wait, was it Abramson?
Abramson.
Yeah, Abramson is in the Ferrari.
Yeah. And Gravender, his teammate, is now the next in line to give Fearpennon a hard time. So, this battle pack in the middle was not knowing where to look. Swoyle keeps the position. Stina Gadan now piling the pressure on. We've seen West move backwards over that lap because Fire is through, and now pushing onto the group ahead. He's going to be making time as best he can, having made the early stop. West now under pressure from T5 Black, so all of the soft runners are going to be giving West a pretty hard run for his money. Quick look further down the field. We've got Egerlanders holding 10th, having pitted. Tornroth P11 in the sister Audi. Chio down in 12th. Now, I didn't get to see whether that was pit related. He is on softs, so potentially having got rid of the medium tyres. And Erdin there, rounding up the field in, I don't know the team name, but the slightly off yellow Beetle, almost like a gold. I don't even know how you describe that colour.
That's the Swedish splinter camouflage for the military.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, there you go. Yeah.
It just says Team Sweden, so I guess he's just Team Sweden.
Team Sweden. backing up the field right now. Solon preserves a 3-second lead ahead there in the McLaren. Now it looks like Abramson has got some breathing space. Because look at what's going on back here. This is what we need to be watching. This is a 5-car fight with fire in the middle of it. And he's managed to get his way up to 4th in a single lap. Awesome work here. And it looks like... oh, it's this 7-car train now. Gravenden right in the middle of it. SSGr3 hounding him in the RX there. The 54 car, I think that is. And let's keep an eye here. Looks like fire. Can he make the move on the Carlsberg branded Fear pennant?
Oh, he's overshooting a bit, but he
somehow
does it really nice.
Yeah, found brakes where there shouldn't have been brakes there. Great move. Very clean.
Really nice car control.
Yeah, really. Oh, and there's a wide McLaren of Swoyle. He just
That's
got
Swoyle going out into kill leader.
Yeah, and look at the positions. He's going to lose 4, 5, maybe 6 positions there. I will try and catch that replay for you. The dirty tyres.
He's going to be a little bit angry right now. I think.
Driving in the red at the moment, I think. Let's see if he can hook onto West. I'm going to quickly go back to that for you, see if we can witness that firsthand. So Swoyle were on board. A slow Fear pennant from the move thanks to fire. And it's just almost like a netcode contact. It didn't look like there was any major move between the cars. Just a horrible bounce with the physics there that kind of forced him off. Let's get off the replay, back on track. So Fear pennant holds SSGr3 back, who I'm told is stylish Dan. Very cool in translation. T5. Oh, is that a move? Behind with Egerlanders, it looks like he made it stick on Gravender's there. I don't know if we can catch what happened there. I'm literally unable to look in the right place at the right time. There's so much going on. It was an inside move from Egerlanders in the Audi there. Just makes it stick behind the Beetle. Lovely. Great bit of opportunistic work there. Let's rejoin. This is like a touring car race.
There's so much going on everywhere, and you can see here SSGr3 going up on the inside, but getting undercut and losing three positions
from a simple outbraking. He'd obviously gone for the move. Let's quickly catch that. Great run, and it's this same corner for Fear pennant.
Up on the inside, and he overshoots.
We just saw fire the lap before somehow make the car stick, so not an easy move to make. And now we see he's behind Egerlanders again, so that Audi, having made a pit stop, racing back through the field, as with the progression of fire and black. So that early stop, with a bit of aggressive manoeuvring here, could be paying off for the guys. We'll have to see how that holds later in the race. Four cars cross the line virtually together. We've got 3 wide nearly into turn 1 on lap 8. It's Egerlanders on for the move here on T5. He looks keen. I think the medium running Fear pennant is now kind of the block in the chain here. Causing mass impatience and frustration in the field behind. Outside line from T5 Black. I think he's made it work. What a move. No time to wait. He knows Egerlanders is on a charge. He knows he needs to push. Egerlanders realises equally he needs to go, go, go. I daren't look away. There's replays galore here, but we're going to stay with the action. Let's go on board with Fear pennant. Chasing the lead 2 in this group, who are on the softer compound now, I believe. Looks like it's settling down for those guys. Quick check back. Oh no, I'm not going to get that replay now. We'll carry on. I did notice
it was something with Swoyle.
Swoyle looks like he might be having dropped back again.
I think he was ghosted and he hit the...
Oh, we might have caught it. I accidentally triggered a replay before.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, you can see there.
2 Beetles.
Oh, that's a hard hit.
Oh, that's a bad accident for those guys. Nobody would have wanted it. I'm just going to see if I can trigger that again on board with Chio. Can we get you the view from him? So it's actually the car behind Erdin. Oh,
Yeah.
he's just late on the brakes.
Oh, he shoots super hard.
I'm afraid that's going to be a post-race penalty in the making. That's damage as well, I think.
He came in like a fire. Yeah.
Yeah, the car.
He came in like a fire jet.
He did. Now he has waited. He's done the first thing he needs to do, and he's waited for the field to go. So he will be less frowned upon for that. But still, the incident not ideal for the other guys involved. Bad luck there. Erdin, who just missed the braking point, and at that point had nowhere to go. Simply a passenger. Not really any options to run yourself off the track there either. It's a very, very narrow strip of track. Swoyle possibly having
especially when you dive so on the inside of that hairpin, and that hairpin has a little bump and it's a bit off camber as well, so it's a really tricky corner.
That's a good point. Swoyle now on the super softs as well, worth noting. So he's realised he's going to be in clean air. He's at the back. It's not ideal. However, he's got the clean air, so he's maximising that single stint that he can do. Keep an eye.
Definitely. Super soft for super stint.
You can advertise it with that on TV, I think. So Fire here is within slipstream distance of Solon, who, unless I've missed a pit stop, no, is still on the mediums. Here's the survivor on mediums, but what's the effect on the race now that Fire has managed to make a stop and rejoin him? Interested to know how that's going to play out here. Will Fire owe an extra stop for the early
He might
strategy?
have to stop one extra.
Still showing pretty incredible pace to have made that ground. However, T5, no slouch either. Oh, being a very sideways Audi under braking. That brake bias looking like it's set pretty much centre to the rear in that car for it to get that sideways. And it looks like, I was going to say, Egelanders has the move there, but again, T5 finds a way to defend it. Can he hold it into the hairpin? Fight for third here. The Beetle, very stable, good on its tyres against the looser, more aggressive setup of the Audi. Really sort of fling that sideways with some mastery of the car.
That small Beetle is very wide in T5's hand.
It really is. Let's see if we can see the view from Egelanders here as he does look again. Threatens to go. We'll cut to the camera because we need to know if he can stop
undercut.
it. Yeah. Nice undercut from T5. Great battling at the hairpin, but has T5...
But does he have the power?
Yeah.
I don't think he has.
I think the out... Oh, well, they're side by side. Neither goes off the track. I have to say credit to T5 for holding that there. That can be an instant spin, and I think T5 given the place back there because the Audi might have been deemed to have leaned him off track there. So very, very fair play. This has given Firapen a little look back into the battle ahead. He also still running the mediums.
Yeah. And with T5 and Egelanders fighting ahead of him, he's been just sneak up with his Carlsberg green camouflage car because the track is all green around.
It's Carlsberg green track, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, just checking on the second half of the field here. We've got Chio sort of rebuilding his race. Erdin, who we saw involved early on, and this stack of cars who I think were also caught up in the same incident. So Stili Gadan possibly on a recovery drive here. Gravenden now in P11. I can't remember if he was in the incident or whether pit stops have just shuffled him back. Look out for Swoyle. I don't know if we can... I can't see lap times at the moment, but I expect he's setting the lap charts on Fire. See if we can have a quick look. So Fire still with the fastest lap at the moment with a 44.1. We've got Swoyle setting an equally fast 44.1. So Swoyle is on fast lap pace on those super softs, but look out for the leader's pace when they choose that stint. So Fire now, we've not seen it. I'll see if I can get you a replay. Fire has made the move to get past Solon, and it must have been at the early part of that lap because the replay even isn't going to catch that. We are 11.
Yeah, but you can see Solon, he's still hanging on with his mediums behind Fire. And how does Fire's tires look? Rhyming.
So the mediums are looking
Because Solon's tires doesn't look too bad.
No,
and if you look on Fire.
So Fire's tires are beyond the medium wear already. Naturally, you'd expect a faster rate there, but
so that might be the case why Solon is being able to actually keep up with Fire.
Yeah, and if he can stay in the next maybe 2 laps, you'd expect the soft tires to wear at an increased rate again. So could be race changing here if Solon has. I mean, he's just keeping it into a second, but I mean, I don't envy him having to follow the Beetle of Fire at the moment. He's pulling out a 10th per sector at the minute, so Fire really knows how to get the hammer down when he needs to. There's still plenty of grip left in those tyres. T5 now clear in 3rd. We saw the battle with Egerlanders. Now Egerlanders 2 seconds back. Having let T5 Black go, I wonder either if they've had a coming together or whether he's just slipped back off the slipstream, which is kind of bringing him into the clutches of Abramson there in the Ferrari. The lead Ferrari in the race at the moment. He is running soft tyres, having made a stop.
Egelanders might be just trying to follow T5 and just keep a higher pace to stay away from
yeah, it's a really good point. Because that that battle was really bringing them back to Firapennon, so could be a smart move. We're looking at the battle pack for 9th at the moment, led by Erden, with Stenigadan pressuring, nowhere to move in this last sector, so he's going to be eyeing up maybe the start-finish straight. Many of these guys have got a super soft stint to go. We can see Swoyle at the back has now reclaimed the ground on these guys, so maybe a really well played super soft stint. It does depend if he gets caught, however. We're just going to watch into turn 1 because Stenigadan looks like he's got as good a run as he needs. He does move to the inside, but not enough pace under braking. Has the Beetle got it stopped? He does, but I don't know if that's compromised the exit, because importantly, Stenigadan here, the Mazda puts the car on the inside, and the Ferrari, oh, I thought he was going to do the Me Too on the inside, which I think could have ended one of their races. Very smart driving by the guys here. He's looking into the hairpin, and really Erden being very fair there. The Ferrari forcing his hand with Gravender. Well defended. The Beetle holds the inside line into the long sweeping uphill left-hander. Lots of understeer on the exit. Look at the guys running wide, and all of that is inviting.
Now we have an Audi up in the mix as well.
Exactly. Tornroth says, hello mate, if you're going to let me in on the party, I'm going to walk right in with a beer in each hand. So he's getting fully involved here. Yeah, both the Ferrari and Audi, very nimble mid-engined cars that take some taming under power and under kind of turning. Like if you can control the gentle sort of oversteer that you get from those cars, well, gentle isn't the word, but the pretty aggressive oversteer you can get in those cars, then there's a lot of pace to be found, but some serious patience needed. We have got a pit stop from Fire here, so he's obviously feeling those tyres are done. Solon stays out, still on his first stint. And it looks like he's got a couple of laps left in the tank if he needs them. So he's running half the race on those tyres. Completely contrasting strategies at the moment. Abramson cycles up to second. He's got relatively new super softs, so it looks like maybe half a stint away from the pit stop. We'll see how that plays out. Many of these guys could be saving the super softs till the end. Not West, however. He's on a charge. Looks like he's been running those since maybe the end of lap 8 or 9. They will be wearing quickly though, so he needs to be pushing for every apex. Fire now on the super softs. How long can he make those tyres last? We're on lap 14 of 24. This is race 1 of 2, bear in mind.
I think those tires are not going to last him until the end, so I think he's going to have to jump on the soft tires again.
So Fire relying on what is effectively a series of qualifying pace stints to make up for what is an extra pit stop potentially. So kind of fascinating now to see if Solon has done enough with the minimal stop strategy to stay out in the clean air. We've got a little battle developing here. Tornroth looks like he's progressing well. Swoil is back. The return of Swoil after some pretty awful luck early in the race. We saw an outbreaking Beetle unfortunately collect him. And it looks like those, even though the super softs are worn, they're still strong enough to put pressure on Tornroth. I think that is ahead.
Yeah, you can see Tornroth is having to cut the corner quite hard and kick up some dust, but Swoil is right there.
Look at the
and
camera
now he's overtaking
angle.
on the inside as well.
Beautiful move. Top work from the camera crew there. We've got only our finest out on track at the moment.
You can see the difference there between is Tornroth on the soft tires.
Let's have a look. So Tornroth here. Yeah, I'm running the softs,
Yeah,
but
it's on the
those
soft tires.
fronts are really... I wouldn't be surprised if he's running quite a bias to the front to keep that car under control, so it really does take the pressure onto the front of that car. I'm just going to check ahead, because yeah, I can see it's West batting off the attention at the minute of PR on Fire having made his stop. So West in P2nd, looking like he's owed a stop. Fire having come out on super softs. I'm not sure whether West will really need to defend too hard here. This may be more of a formality while those guys cycle through their own strategies. We've seen Solon into 4th here. I'm hoping that's pit stop. That's soft tyres, so we're going to see a sprint in the final laps. But that is a very short stint to run the super softs, with only up to 10 laps left in the race, including this one.
If he's even going to run the super softs.
If that's true, I mean these tires could survive. I guess it depends how much quicker they can be on that extra grippy tire.
Because we were talking about Solon driving on super softs compared to Swoil driving on super softs, and they were talking back and forth about the tires, and some drivers are actually quicker on the softs than the super softs.
There is a bizarre
really
grip
weird.
level on those tires, which I've experienced and heard the same comments in our own community, where some drivers can make them stick, but others, there's almost this flip of grip to nothing, so they're incredibly grippy, but the moment you lose them, it really drastically slows you down. And I think driving style must come heavily into that, and just your preferences with how the tyres feel. Fire now having made the move on West, it looked pretty much a formality there. We'll wait to see.
And I'm not too sure if you have to run the super softs.
No, that's a good point. They may not be mandatory
I'm
more.
not too sure. I don't think they're mandatory.
So fascinating build
Might just
here.
be optional.
I'd love to know where Solon is relative to Fire. We're looking at our two leaders. So Fire currently 0.7. He's now catching Abramson. I'm going to predict that Abramson is on older tyres. He is due to pit. That could even be this lap. Now let's find out how far back Solon is. Solon 5 seconds now. So Fire is about a pit stop ahead of Solon at the moment. So how is this going to shape out? Both are on soft. No, Fire with the super soft stint, so you'd expect him to push now and extend that gap, because that's going to affect how this race finishes. If Solon isn't going to stop, Fire needs all the time on track he can find to make up for that, and I wouldn't put it beyond him at the moment. Fascinating to see how these two...
Yeah, but if you look at Fire's fuel tank, he has quite a lot of fuel, so is he going to... Is that even gonna last him the race out, or...?
It could be, you know, he might be playing a sort of fuel save, tyre save strategy. having got himself clear.
Because he has 7 laps to go, or like 6.5 laps to go. So
not unthinkable to hang on those tyres and soak up the pressure from Solon, who is not on the optimal tyre for this situation. Solon now would almost be wishing to be on the super soft so that he could attack. So really interesting how that strategy is going to play out. Meanwhile, it looks like T5 Black currently caught in more traffic than he'd want at the moment. Is he fresh from a pit stop? Yeah, he's on those super softs. So Fire really looking for probably cleaner air than he has at the moment. He's got a super soft runner ahead in the form of Abramson. Egerlander's only on the soft, so these two will be very, very quickly tracking that Audi down. Matter of time, surely, before both Abramson and T5 are putting the pressure on the Audi. Gravender with some clear air, but he is in the pits. That will filter him back down into the lower half of the grid. Now there's a strong fight at the back here. Before we focus on the leaders, let me find you the back of the grid. So Swoil still running at the back here. The final two, we believe, will go into the B lobby at the end of this race. So currently Swoil and Gravender are in the fight for survival. Gravender having just pitted, he'll be on some fresh rubber. So as fascinating as the race for their lead is, we're going to try and keep an eye on which of these two, or which two of these drivers are demoted for the second race and will be fighting in the B lobby. The gap now in the lead. Fire is 5.4 seconds ahead of Solon, but we really don't have indication whether Fire intends to stay out. Those tyres are hanging on. Those tyres are... He's massaging them around Autopolis at the moment on a really tough track on the tyres. So pretty impressive, and maybe just managing the gap, because Solon, I would expect to lose more time on the soft compound. However, as you said, Mixter, maybe the comfort on those tyres is giving Solon more pace than we'd expect.
Yeah, because you can see the gap now, it's going back and forth between 5.37 to 5.52, and it's going a lot back and forth, so it seems that they're faster in different sectors.
It does, and it makes me wonder, is Fire limiting the gap rather than going full out push? Now, interesting if so, because Fire obviously wants to look after the tyres and can apparently look after the tyres, but yeah, almost managing the lead rather than outright accelerating away from Solon. So fascinating to know what's going on there with his strategy and his mindset. Obviously we can only speculate. He could be entirely on another plan altogether. Let's go on board with West, who looks like he is giving T5 a hard time at the moment, making himself very visible in the mirrors on soft tyres. Now I thought T5 was on the super softs. Look back from T5. Now the super softs are losing their front grip already, so he's going to be experiencing pretty drastic understeer at the moment. Can West look on the inside for the hairpin? It's going to be a late move. There's not a gap there, but a good run out of the hairpin could also be an opportunity, although we've seen many near incidents downhill here into the right-hander. Looking patient, looking composed. We've still got a great fight going on at the back here. I will try and track this for you. 6 laps to go, including the one we're on. We're at Autopolis, race 1 of 2. Oh, we've had a DC in chat from Griper there. Sounds like some bad luck there for you, dude. I hope you can enjoy on board with us. Let's go on board with Swoil, preferably facing forward. Now Swoil and Chio, both of them at the minute are in what I could call elimination positions, i.e. they could end up in lobby B in race 2. So neither of them want to slow each other down yet to the point of losing ground to the top 10. Their target now is Gravender in the Ferrari. Although that's not going to stop Swoyle. If he feels he's faster, maybe not going to see the fight from Chio. Chio playing it smart, possibly knowing that both of these two now need to be focusing on this car, P10 Gravender, who is staying out of trouble at the moment and doing everything he needs. He's in a prime position to be on pole at the start of the next race with the reverse grid, if my maths are correct. So maybe a bit of smart driving going on here, and it's more important he keeps a tidy run to the end.
As Fire now extending his lead by almost a second, he's up to 5.8. So it seems that Solon is still losing ground.
Seems that way. Let's have a look. I mean, how are those tyres still there? Whatever magic touch this guy has got, those tyres are surviving, and they look like there is no threat whatsoever of pitting late, especially if all three compounds aren't mandatory. You can look in comparison, the softs there, slightly longer running softs, are now reaching a similar level of wear, so it's not a shock that we're seeing Solon really only being able to manage the gap.
I think Solon is just hoping that Fire's tires are just gonna start to fall off, and then he's going to drop back into Solon's lap. But it doesn't seem to be the case, because Fire is really treating those tires gently and nicely to just keep the life in them.
Yeah,
he's doing a really good job, just maintaining his lead.
Absolutely, and if I was Solon, I'd be thinking the same. I'd be like, right, I've got you here, I've just got to wait for you to pit, only to realise that car potentially never even goes onto the softs. So bit of what we thought was a risky strategy from Fire at the moment. Even with a mandatory pit stop, it looks like if he had to pit for softs, it looks like he could manage that gap enough to do so. So we're going to assume that Fire is out on track till the end, unless I've got the rules wrong here. We've got to move from what looks like Abramson inside the Audi of Egerlanders. Was that a move for position? I caught it late. And he's now in third, whether he was there before or not. It looks like he's secure in that position for the moment. Quick look at tyres. He's on the super softs. Being let down by the system here. And softs for the Egerlanders behind. So the Audi not really with a lot to fight with at the moment. If anything, could do with that toe of the Ferrari to stay out of the attention of West, who has certainly progressed. He was back in 8th early in the race, and he's now sitting in a solid 5th. And it looks like he's clear to the end. To be honest, would be very surprised if there are many stops to come now. I've got the feeling all drivers are on their final stint, and it's kind of a sprint to the flag now. Black down in 6th. Maybe less than ideal result for him, given that he had a shout for the top 5 there, but by no means a bad result. Firapennen, we never really saw him pick up pace after that early medium stint. And in contrast, that Honda on the super softs just really showing the kind of wear I'd probably have expected to see on our leader. So it kind of just illustrates how well that Beetle is looking after its tyres. Stilliger down there. Very solid 10th, 8th. Now, Erdin seems to have been fending cars off all race since the early incident. Not sure whether Gravender has got enough. He's putting that Ferrari on the outside. Let's go see firsthand the pressure he's under. We're coming to the final 2 laps of the first race. It's still looking like Swoyle. And I think we've lost Chio. Is Chio... I think we may have lost Chio. No, Chio's there. It's the graphic has dropped him off. But Chio has fallen back from Swoyle, so no alarms there. But I think unless there's any major incidents in the last 2 laps, we're looking at Chio and one of these 3 drivers who are going to be joining Lobby B in the second race. So the fight is really still on for these guys. It only takes an incident between Gravender and Erdin here, which could open the gate for Swoil to swoop in and cause a bit of a drama at the end. He's on the outside, Gravender here, and looks like tyres. If I can get you to the right car. Right, let's try that again. They're still battling side by side. Now, keep an eye on the fuel levels. Erdin here, struggling with the old Supersoft. So even in the Beetle there, you can see, look at those front tyres, eaten up by battling, I'm sure. Like, these two have not left each other alone for the last 5 laps. But, again, just demonstrating...
Now
Sorry, Mixter,
with their fighting as well, you can see their Swoil is right behind that Beetle now. And so he's definitely going to aim for a pass.
We're going to have to watch this last lap closely. Like you say, Swoil is primed. He knows that one of these positions is the difference between staying in Lobby A for maximum points or being going down to Lobby B for what is effectively the second tier of points. So, huge...
Swoil there going really wide on the outside. He's pushing as hard as he can in that McLaren.
Yeah, awesome effort here. He needs to be patient in some regards because this is not the sector. When I say patient, that McLaren costly wide there. Has he recovered it just? He just got sideways through. I'm sorry that I even said patient. He was eating
so much grass.
So now it's all or nothing for Swoil. He'll be slightly at odds with himself for that. It's nothing more frustrating than making your own mistakes. Fire going into the last half lap of the first race, clear 7.5 seconds, cannot pit if he wanted to, does not need to pit, and has just about made those tyres last for the stint, which I don't think any of us could have predicted at the time. Brilliant run from Solon. Perhaps could not have run the same strategy because I just don't think that McLaren on the tyres would have been drivable at this stage. Keep an eye out for third and fourth. West smelling a podium here. Has the pressure on Abramson in the Ferrari. There are so many battles to watch here. Now Swoil we know is still chasing, so there's less urgency at the back, but we will try and catch that for you as it finishes. Hype in the chat because we are into the final corner of race 1. Race 2 is to come today. Stick around for race 2, but for now, Fire in his opening race of season 14, a really dominant showing there. The strategy, a huge factor, managing the super softs for such a long stint in the race. Solon, brilliant drive, possibly a little gutted to see that Fire did not need to pit. Now Abramson, can he hang on to that podium? I thought West might have made the move by now. This straight is not long enough without a mistake. Brilliant job. Abramson rounds up third for the podium. West fourth. Egerlanders another lap or two. I think he would have joined those guys. T5 holds sixth, and Firapelin finishing only just outside the top 6. Stiligadan in 8th. It's Gravender who takes 9th, Erdin 10th, and Swoil, I think he has got 11th. There was a glitch in the timing there. I thought he'd just made a drastic position. And that's Fire who takes race 1. What a race, guys. Believe it or not, we've got another one to go.
Phenomenal driving from Fire, managing those super softs. Since I haven't driven, recently and testing cars and whatnot, I don't know how the cars controllability, like how they drive with the tires, with all the updates going back and forth.
Yeah,
because the Beetle was really overpowered in the early, the first year or so, that and the Porsche. But then it fell off, and now it seems to be back again.
It does, and I have heard from a couple of friends on the game that Beetle can be brilliant on its tyres with a bit of nurturing. So you saw it there demonstrated like maximum level. I mean, I think this guy could make the GTR run nicely on its tyres in that race, but still, it says a lot for the capability of that car. There's your roundup of race 1. We've got Fire, Solon and Abramson as podium finishes, taking maximum points. West and Egerlanders and T5 Black, strong showing throughout the race. And actually, those early mid-pack battles, I think, really shaped their progression. Then it's Pirapennen, Stiligadan in the Mazda, along with West. The Mazda looking like it's running well here. Same with the Ferraris, actually. Gravender in 9th. Strong showing now. I think one to watch for the next race. Gravender, from memory, was caught up a little bit early on with the incidents as well. So Swoyle really a victim of some bad luck early on and just a simple mistake at the end of the race. That's going to cost him a Lobby A slot. So look out for Swoyle next week because he won't be featuring in tonight's second race. Erding got 10th there in the Beetle and Chio rounding out the grid. Look out all of these guys. So Erdin, Gravender, Stiliga and Pirapennen. That's going to be your front row for race 2 because we're in reverse grid, and obviously we're going to watch out for Fire and Solon charging from the back. Kind of fascinating to see if they get into their own battle before they start making their way forward. Thank you so much everyone for joining. Really nice to have you there in chat. Thanks for all the GGs. Really good stuff, says Nailbender. Thank you, mate. Great show, MSX. Thank you. Flynn says 2 races should be mandatory. Yeah, the 2 race format makes for some aggressive, fast-paced stuff. I love it. For those of you who don't know, I've got Mixtermaker in the booth. He is a former champion, former racer, and friend to many of these drivers, or rival, depending on the relationship.
Depending on if we're racing or drinking beer.
Yeah, rival beer drinkers, right? That's what you meant?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna have a quick look out the window. My dad is loading up since we have a lot of snow here, you need since they live in the boonies, and they have a tractor, and he bought like a snow thrower for it, but the engine broke on it, so he has to get it repaired.
Oh no.
And he's loading it up now on the trailer with the tractor, and it's quite huge, so I'm just checking to see that it's not injured or something. He's 62 years old. I mean, anything can happen. But he seems fine. Yep.
It's good that you've got his back.
Yeah, gotta help the old man out.
Alright, I've brought those. Well, actually, I was going to say I brought the results back up. That was a member list, which doesn't tell you anything. We're just waiting for the lobbies to get filtered now. We should be getting 2 new drivers into this lobby, so the winning cars of Lobby B are going to join us. Thank you for sending the hype emotes, everyone. Dr. Nailbender's having emote difficulties. There's always a technical in here. If it's not on the commentary side, it's in chat. So thanks MSX for loading up the emotes. I'm going to throw some in there too. Welcome everyone. I should probably introduce myself. I'm FrankLucid. I run a sim racing and broadcasting channel as of recently. Currently it's a Gran Turismo show, but the channel isn't exclusive to that game. We're soon to bring Assetto Corsa Competizione in, which we're hoping to be a cracking PlayStation title. And in future that could develop further to other titles. I'm kind of open to it. And I also try and
Are you gonna go for the PS5 with Competizione, or
it will be on the PS4?
Okay, you're gonna jump on it on PS4.
I'm gonna do it, but recent events in getting a proper PC mean if the game isn't flying on the PlayStation, we may make a swift sidestep onto the PC platform. However, the community we've got on the PlayStation is a really good bunch, a bit like the Swedish Racing League here, so
Yeah.
Part of me would love to stay connected to that community and hope that they absolutely nail the PlayStation title. I have faith. There'll be much skepticism.
Come for the racing, stay for the people.
Exactly. And then we will gradually evolve to PC, I think, and look at the racing titles on there. Especially as a broadcaster, that will give us a heck of a lot more material as well. But I was invited to broadcast this series midway through season 13, which was about sort of six or so weeks ago. And since taking that on, have kind of loved it, and the guys are enjoying the broadcast, so we're going to stick with it for as long as we can make it happen. It's kind of a voluntary thing, but it's so much fun, and we get to kind of watch. It's some of the closest racing I've spectated, so I can only say good things about it. Credit to the drivers for that. They have flawlessly put on a show for us. Not sure on the start time of the next race. I'm going to imagine it's close to 8:30 with the change arounds. We will let you know as soon as I know. Thanks for all the good vibes in chat. Thanks, MSX.
Let me show you how it's done, son. Oh, crap.
That, whoops, was the sound of MSX sending 100 bits to the channel. Thank you, mate. Appreciate your time in the chat. LJ Speed, the sample, now live on the broadcast. I don't think you can hear the stream, can you, Mixter?
No, I can't hear anything except you. I can't even hear the racing sound. All I hear is you.
we need a channel feed for you. I don't know if it's worth you having the stream on audio only, but it'll be so delayed that you'll hear me twice, won't it? So it's gonna cause you probably more headaches than it is anything.
And it's gonna tax. Well, now I have unlimited surf for 24 hours, but it's really gonna tax my phone bill plan.
Yeah,
quite hard if I double stream.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I could do with a way of routing.
It's probably gonna get laggy as well.
I need to plug you into my speakers, which I'm not using when I'm streaming, and get you like a what is it, thousands of miles of audio cable, so you get the slight delay, but not such a strong delay. Thank you, MSX, again for throwing the bits down in the channel. I do appreciate it. Also,
what are bits?
So bits are a Twitch currency. You sort of preload them onto your account, and it's a way of cheering for channels in like small, medium, large doses. You take your pick, and you just kind of throw them into the channel as a microcurrency. It's kind of a really nice way of sending a high five of sorts.
Okay.
It's kind of cool. It's one of the weird Twitch things I'll be honest, when I heard about them, I was like, I just don't think they'll catch on, and I love them now. I throw them in other channels. I've got so into them. So it's kind of like having a little.
So do you get any kickback for that, or is it just a cool thing?
They do go towards the channel. So, for example, 100 bits is something like £1 worth of cheering. So it's kind of like a tipping method. That's it's really nice if people want to throw the love in, but it's all extra stuff. So yeah, it's kind of cool. And yeah, thank you guys. The current stream upgrade is going to go towards a lean coffee machine for the stream. It's going to be live on camera. So we're going to go highbrow with it in future. But yeah, it's a good platform to be on. I'm enjoying it, and I'm recognizing a lot of the faces. Those of you who are here regularly sort of get to know the guys in chat, which is kind of an added reason to come back and do this stuff. So hopefully we can get you a second race any moment. We have, I think we're waiting on the B final. I think that's the delay. I don't have comprehension of the language well enough to get any more detail. You might be able to tell me there, Mixter, but so bear with us, guys. Go get a drink. You've got no rush here. think I might turn the
Solon,
alerts back on so you can see them. Sorry, go on, mate.
Solon said in the chat, if there's no rosé in the pit lane, like, then just, you know, let it be. I don't know what he's talking about, but something about, I think, rosé wine or something in the pit lane. If there isn't any rosé, then I don't know. I'm trying to look in the chat history, but
to answer your question, MSX, are the rules the same for the second race? Pretty much so. The only difference we're going to see is a reverse grid. I think everything else. Now, whether the top 8 still start on the hard tyre, sorry, on the medium tyre, I haven't checked, so I'll try and keep an eye on that for you. Whether it's whether the second race is a free strategy. Tom Roth starts. Can't read the rest of that.
Tom Roth starts second in B final without small p, big P, and then H and 1. I can't. Like the screen that I see is a bit too big for the screen that I actually have, so it's a bit, you know, it cuts off like half of West's W at the beginning.
Oh, I see. PIH1, yeah. Yeah, MSX, pit service with tea and biscuits. That's my kind of pit stop. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, wine is great
I deciphered why Solon said if there's no rosé in the pit lane, then he's just gonna skip it, because West asked one pit stop, right?
Yeah.
Like, cool. And then he said, yeah, if there's no booze in the pit lane, I'm not gonna pit. That's basically what he said.
Okay.
FrankLucid going quite slowly here.
For the mean coffee bean machine.
He just skipped the
Troller,
pit
thank you so much, dude. We've just had a donation in on the screen for the mean coffee bean machine. Thank you so much. We are £6 closer. And Adventure Racing storming in with a party of 19. How are you doing, man? Thank you so much for the raid. I've been wanting to return one, actually. I need to catch you online at some point. Massive raid. Come on in, guys. We are waiting for the start of a race, which we're broadcasting right now. I owe you one, James. Thank you, buddy. How was the stream, guys?
People storming your stream?
We have a stream storm. Yeah, so you're hearing Mixter here with me, guys. We're co-commentating on the Swedish Racing League. We've had race 1 at Autopolis. We have the likes of Fire in here, Solon. We've got some super fast T5 Blacks in here, Firapennen. All these guys have been battling at Autopolis for 40 minutes. It's a private league race. I'm only broadcasting and commentating. So you're welcome to join and watch, but I can't get you in the race. Thank you so much again, Adventure Man. Awesome effort. It's been great to race you in CRN and then see you do even better, basically, or as well in Division 1. So you're on a flyer at the minute. Good job. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for your viewership if you stick around. We're literally waiting for the race 2 to start. It's a reverse grid start as well. I'd kind of love a highlights button so I could just kind of do a rewind. I almost want to save the replay and go show it, but you know I'll miss the start if I do that. How is your day, guys? What's been going on in the Adventure Racing camp? What's been the game today? Arden Blue says I was forced at gunpoint here. Hello, I guess. Arden, you're such a bad liar.
Well, he's welcomed anyway.
You're a terrible liar. Also, I appreciated your words before, Arden, on the first Nürburgring race. I rewatched Jev's stream to see how it was for him, and you were pretty kind on me in that race, so thank you. You're all welcome here. Feel free to stick around. If you want to get involved in other stuff, that's totally fine as well, but it's just nice to have some fresh eyes in. Yes, adventure. Yeah, we had like side by side for half a lap at Nürburgring. Like that was making me work like overly hard. We got a bit of progress here. We've got Scanningen and Axel both in the room. They are your two drivers who won the B lobby by winning and coming second.
Seems that Svoil is sticking here with A lobby because we had one who disconnected, and he seems that he's back to drive. And then there was Chio.
Now Chio, we know, has left the room.
Chio was behind Spoil, right?
Yeah, so unknown to us, that keeps Swoil in the room, which that's going to make for another good battle in this race. We've seen how unafraid he is to throw a move down. So, right, the guys are being told to get on track. This is getting exciting again. Thank you, Gaucho. I hope I say your name right, mate. Tell me if I get it wrong. Welcome. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of shared love between the adventure stream and myself. I am quite new to Twitch. I only got the channel going this year. I've been aware of Jev's stream for some time, especially over on YouTube, and we were both in the same CRN community on and off, so we've kind of got connections, even if they're tenuous. It was sweaty, yeah. Yeah, that was 90 minutes, man. I needed a big old come down after that race. I had to just go and effectively have a cold shower. It was like, yeah, it's disgusting, to be honest. Trollar's put too much gin in his tonic. It's going well at your end, mate. Thank you again for your donation just before that raid.
Never too much gin.
Much appreciated. That coffee machine will find its way here soon. Okay, let's try and observe. Yeah, we can get on track now. Sorry about the wait, everyone. I appreciate you hanging around. So welcome, Axel, to Lobby A. Let me give you a quick recap, guys, because there's half of the room here who haven't quite been told what's going on properly. So, you're now watching the Swedish Racing League. Tonight is the beginning of Season 14. The Swedish Racing League are running an endurance series of hour-long races, usually. The sweat was definitely worth it, Arden. Yeah, 100% worth it. Thanks for the follow, guys. Feel welcome to join the room. It's good to have you here. Cheers, Arden. Yes, so tonight's format is a double long sprint race, so it's 40-minute sprint. I'm only calling it a sprint because it is literally relentless for 40 minutes. I need more cameras, and I don't think we need more commentators, but I'm gonna need a new voice.
We need a camera crew.
We need another camera crew. Thanks, Adventure Man. If I'm not following you, I'll make sure I am, dude. I'm catching up on Twitch, but for the raid especially, awesome stuff. Yeah, dude, I've just realised I probably owe you a follow as well, so I will interrupt you at a horrible moment in your next race and fire off a notification when you're trying to focus. So the race you're watching, the tyres available are super softs, softs and a medium. Usually the lead 8 cars on the grid have to start on a medium. I'm not sure if that's the case in this second race, but I think it might be.
They have to do it now.
Thank you. They do have to start on a medium. So look out for the cars at the back getting aggressive on strategy. It looks like the mediums were thrown off pretty quickly in this race. Many guys opting for the softer compound quickly, as you'd expect. Don't go and follow him. Don't do it. Don't give him the benefit. Yeah, I'm all about greed on this channel. I only take follows. I try and steal them. I'll think about it, Arden. You're like the devil on my shoulder right now. Absolute devil. Right, the guys are being told to get on track. Here we go. It's going to be a grid start this season. So, like I say, it's the first round. Fresh points, fresh league. We've got the addition of Fire, who pulled a bit of a mad strategy in race 1. Made the Super Softs last half a race. I don't know how. And it did give him the win over Solon, who pulled out a pretty good race as well. We did notice that the midfield pretty much couldn't avoid an incident or two. It's such a tight and an intense track that someone's going to miss a braking point. Someone's going to get two wheels on the dirt. So if I've got the voice, I'll try and keep it interesting for you for the next 40 minutes. Which, while I'm hoping we're about to start, I think we're literally just waiting for drivers to get out of the pits. Let's see who's out. So Axel's running the Peugeot.
Yeah, they're nagging Englanders to switch tires, I think.
Gotcha. So the first Peugeot we've seen in the competition is Axel. Erdin we saw in the last race in the Beetle. Abramson running the Ferrari. Some great liveries. Teammate Gravender here in the second Ferrari. Fire in the Beetle. Who else have we got added to the room? T5. Swoyle running the McLaren. I think there's going to be a stronger... Look out for Swoyle here. Because of the reverse grid, he's going to effectively become a pole man, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he had some really bad luck in the first race.
He did. West in the RX. He had a good run, so look out for him again. Alright, we've got a good luck in chat. But we've got a redo from Egerlanders. The politics of lobbies.
It's not a redo, it's ready in Swedish.
Hey, there you go. Redo. We're ready. We're getting the yeses in chat. Oh, here we go. Get your drinks. Get your popcorn. Throw it at the screen.
Get a towel, it's gonna be... It's so exciting, it's gonna be sweaty.
Bring a towel. First time I've ever had that advice on a racing circuit, I think. Yeah, this should be fascinating. Now, Axel, being a promoted driver from the B category from race 1, I believe he will start at the back, am I correct? With
Yes.
a fellow B driver.
Yes.
So yeah, that should set up. Fire and Solon are going to be starting effectively from the back, bar those two extra cars. So we've kind of got two races to look at once here. We've got the leaders from the last race coming through, and we've got the pole sitters here who really are going to be making the most of this. Time to strip off, Arden. Do what you need to, mate. Make it happen. I can say that because I'm only a chat room away from you, so I feel safe. Yeah, I think that race will have changed everyone's idea on strategy. Whatever they thought, they've seen other stuff work. Alright, we line up again. It's race 2 at Autopolis, the red light now on the right there. As soon as it goes, we're off. It's green. Swoyle with the start in the McLaren. That's a Ferrari bolting into second, into first. Gravender there. Not hanging about. Can they keep it clean? Oh, that's Virapen and wide in the Honda. That's going to demote him straight to the back. Let's look at the mid-pack here. We're not going to know where to look first. Tidy run down into the sharp right-hander. It's not really a too wide corner unless you can keep it respectful. We've got Gravender holding the lead. Swoyle in second, staying out front. He needs a good result here. Last race, caught in a collision that was not his fault, so everything to recover. Look out now, the charging Fire is already into 7th. Fire having made ground on West, I believe. Axel has managed to get up to 9th. So Virapen really struggling there after that off in turn 1. Everyone else getting a clean-ish start. Oh, that Audi, for a minute I thought was wide, but I think we're seeing lag more than anything there. Great start from Gravender though, like didn't see that coming. The Ferrari does launch off the line if you get it hooked up, so fair play to him there, great start. And these medium runners now...
And also the top 3 drivers from the last race, I think they got added weight as well, 3 to 1%.
Oh, of course, we do get a weight ballast here, so the likes of
Fire is driving with 3% more weight.
And Solon with 2% in that case. So, yeah, that's gonna... Well, I was gonna say slow them down. Fire doesn't seem to be bothered. He is into... Whoa, what looks like 5th, but that's side by side with Erdin. He makes the move sick, and I believe will gun straight for that second Ferrari of Abramson. Let's keep an eye out. Now, we've got a car at the back that's just gone into the pit lane. I'll try and pick that up for you, but we're going to keep our eye on this battle here because Swoyle under pressure from the Audi of Egerlanders. Egerlanders takes the inside line down into turn 2. Looks like he's got position. But Abramson, we've seen this before, looking for the cheeky pass under the Audi, but it just got the door shut there. Swoyle, pretty experienced in the series, but he has...
shunted Swoyle.
Was it contact?
Yeah, it was contact from behind.
I will go back to that. We'll see if we can get the replay. Let's just track Swoyle. Run down now, lap 2 into the hairpin. Good overtaking zone, but it doesn't look like he's got the run here and isn't soaking up pressure from another car. If I can quickly go on board with Swoyle here. So we see the chain of cars behind him. It was, you're absolutely right. Abramson just mistiming the brakes there. Swoyle, in fairness, not losing out so badly from that. But it's still not going to work in his favour. Fire into third, showing...
Is Fire driving on softs? I think he is.
I think he is, you're right,
Yes.
because starting outside that top 8 has given him that opportunity. Whereas these front runners are battling on the mandatory medium tyre. Gravender still holding on to the lead at the end of lap 2, but it looks like Egerlanders aware of the approaching Fire behinds. Maybe wondering if he can make the move. We've seen a pit stop there from one of the medium runners.
Swoyle's probably going in for softs.
It was well spotted. Thanks, Mixter. Oh, and the move didn't look like it was on, but the Ferrari just did not get to the apex. And I think maybe with a mirror full of Audi there, just struggling to get it stopped. Let's stay with these guys. Try and bring you on board with Fire as this battle develops. On the bonnet of that Beetle. It's looking tight into the hairpin. There isn't really a gap there. Fire having to wait. If we look behind, it's still Erdin with the attention of T5 Black in the Beetle behind. Now, is Fire going to wait patiently, use the strategy to his advantage, save some fuel, or more likely on the soft tyre, are we going to see him, well, not dive, but jump at the first opportunity? Tight line following Egerlanders. Egerlanders still with a touch of the lag, which will not be giving confidence to Fire there. He won't
I
be
think
rushing.
Fire is holding back a little bit, being a bit scared of the lag. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe at the end of this sector, use that soft grip in that long final right-hand bend. Essential for the run out. The Gravender and the Audi Egerlanders kind of bottlenecking each other here because the two aren't giving each other an ounce of space. Can Egerlanders get some kind of opportunistic move? If he can't do it soon, he knows that Fire will, so hence the aggression. We'll try and track the rest of the field, but eyes on the lead battle at the moment. Look out for 5th and 4th. Abramson looks like he's got a good run in that Ferrari down to turn 1. Oh, hint of a look from Egerlanders. Fire thought about it, but Egerlanders has got the move done. And Fire realising he's going to have to let that move happen. Can he follow on the inside?
Whoa,
We've got
a Beetle going wide.
That's T5. And files back in behind the Ferrari. But look at the pressure from Erdin there in the lighter coloured Beetle. They've kept it clean. Fair play to the guys. I'm going to try and watch this for a second because these are side by side. Again, don't know where to look, but Erdin defends into the hairpin. This has brought Axel up into the race. Axel's making good ground here. Again, probably on a softer compound, started further back. Whereas Erdin, I'm actually not sure what tyres he's running at the moment. It looks like he is on the mediums, so no surprise that he's under pressure there. Quick check on the leader. Egerlanders now capitalising in P1 with Fire behind. He's going to try and almost bridge a gap now to Abramson, and it seems to be working. And Gravender, has that Ferrari dropped back? Have we missed something?
Wasn't the Ferrari ahead of the Beetle of Fire and the Egglanders?
He was. We saw Egerlanders make the
Was
move I'm just wondering if the two Ferraris have swapped positions, or am I mistaking the two guys?
I'm not too sure.
I think it might have, because the soft tyre running Abramson, I think Gravender might have let him go, you know, because Gravender, having been on the front row, he's running the mediums, and you can see how much he's being hassled. We'll go back to the lead group though, because Fire, surely a matter of time before he makes a move. They're already hanging on particularly well on medium tyres, I've got to say. Great drive here from Egerlanders. Not sure whether that lag is still putting a bit of caution on Fire. I'm going to quickly check the back of the grid because somebody lost a lot of time. So it's T5 having pitted, then Firapennen. So we saw having the off in turn 1. Not an ideal start for him. And Swoyle, is that a pit stop? I think it's a pit stop, like you pointed out. So
yeah, it went from medium to racing softs, so that's why he's back there.
So look out for a recovery as his strategy comes in on the soft tyres. Scanningham we haven't seen much of yet. Running a solid 9th. I believe he started on the back row. Massive fight going on here into the hairpin. The Ferrari defending ahead. The McLaren of Solon is now inside of West. Has he made that stick? He's got the outside line into the downhill right-hander. But enough pace in that McLaren. Yeah, beautifully done. Nice job from Solon. I was wondering about that charge, but he's on the softs too, so it just shows how well Fire's done. He has now made the move. I'll see if we can catch whether we got Fire's move. No, I've not got a replay there. I may be out of replays. I may have got the glitch, so we'll see how that goes. So Egerland is a solid second, the lead medium runner at the moment. It was the first corner, said MSX. Thank you. I didn't see that. So Abramson, strong third, making ground on the optimal tyre. Axel now up to 5th. I think we'll see maybe through pit stops. He's flying through the field. He is on the softs though, so we'll have to see what kind of pressure he comes under later in the race. Erdin never shy of a battle. Now under the attention of Solon, who has made a very, very late look into the right-hander, but look into the hairpin here, because that McLaren, super aggressive on the soft tyres. Meanwhile, Erdin onto the exhaust pipe of the Peugeot, so not really sure who's going to make the move first. What's up, and welcome to the channel. Thanks everyone who stayed and watched. I hope it's proving to be a good race. This one is going all over the place at the moment. We've got a McLaren again into the hairpin.
Yeah, you can see Solon diving up on the inside there on the hairpin. Really good move, made it stick. And,
yeah, great strength on the braking.
That's what Erdin gets. He was too slow to pass the... Is it a Peugeot or a Renault?
No, you're right, the Peugeot.
French car.
Yeah. And now we've got Scanningen flying at the moment, but under pressure from West.
Solon overtaking Axel, and also Erdin overtaking Axel. So it was two passes in one turn, I think.
Yeah, Erdin with a sudden. I think the effect of being passed sometimes can drop you into the clutches in the next car, and it looks like Erdin, his timing there with the overtakes was just exactly not where he needed it.
Definitely not giving up. He's straight up into the Beetle.
Yeah, he knows this is crucial, I think. He does not want to lose this time. He's not made the move, but Solon, 2 moves within a lap there. Awesome work. He's inside the Ferrari Gravender now, and no bones about making that stick. Look how he pressured the Ferrari. Gave him maximum
You can see that McLaren was accelerating on that straight line slower than the Ferrari, but he outbraked the Ferrari.
Absolutely, and it needed full commitment there. He had to. His braking point may have been blind there because there's a curb on the left that's like the optimal reference point. So fair play for finding that braking point wherever he's using, because that is not an easy car to stop there. Quick check on the lead, because Abramson, now having cleared his teammate, soon to be under the attention of Solon potentially here, who's there in the background. He is pushing onto Egerlanders. So we're seeing Fire break away. Fire's pace currently on the soft tyres just seems to have an edge over these guys in terms of raw pace, and he's now got the clear track to make the most of it. So curious to see if anyone can mount a bigger challenge to him in this race now that he's already... I expected him to have more laps stuck in the midfield, much like Solon really, who's done a credible job of getting to 4th already. Welcome everyone, this is the Swedish Racing League. Thank you for the props on the content, I hope it's a good watch. We don't currently broadcast other racing leagues, but the Swedish one gives me plenty to shout about. Look at the 4-car train, speaking of here. It's Erdin leading Axel. Axel with the attention of Scanningen, who is defending from Swoyle. So Swoyle now back in the pack from his early stop. And that looks like Fierpennen recovering ground on the back of Swoyle. So I think after the first pit stop cycle, we could see these two stepping forward a little bit. Fierpennen more on a recovery, having gone wide lap 1, turn 1. He was a little unfortunate there. Swoyle, however, we know has made a stop and will really not want to hang around in this group. He needs some clear air. We'll see if we can track what tyres he's on. Yeah, he's on fresher softs anyway. So look out for here. Trademark McLaren move. Much like Solon. Are we going to see Swoyle into the hairpin? Tidily done. Needs to get it stopped. And he's straight into the grips of the Peugeot. Nicely done there. The Stilliger down in clear air in P10. West currently down in 11th. I don't know whether that's pit stop related. For some reason I'm unable to pick up P11 and 12, so I've got the kind of keyboard glitch at the minute, but we'll figure it. Gran Turismo glitch.
Technical difficulties.
Welcome to Glitch Sim. Let's try and catch up with ourselves. We're a third of the way through. Fire, having started near at the back of the grid, he's now in the lead. He's made good progress. We'll wait to see what his pit stop strategy is. We saw him pull, I think, a 1-stop last race, so much earlier stop there for the Ferrari. Solon and Swoyle side by side. How has this happened? And unfortunately, Swoyle not getting the best deal there.
Short end of the stick.
He's literally he's undone all the work of the last lap because we saw him chasing. Well, he's at the back of the pack now. He's lost all of the ground. Annoyingly, I can't get you a replay. I'm gonna have to go with live and live only at the minute. But we'll track it for you anyway. We've lost your voice slightly, Mixter. You're slightly low in the mix. Is anything,
Hello?
You're there. You're just exceptionally quiet at the moment. Let me know, chat, if you're struggling to hear him as well. We just lost a bit of volume on you there. Yeah. It's like half of the channel.
I can't adjust the microphone volume.
Yeah, chat can't hear you either. Maybe do a quick rejoin of the call while we've got a pause in time, and then we'll see if we can get you back. Yeah, he's gone really quiet on mine as well. I'm not sure what the glitch is. Oh, we've got glitches everywhere. Let's press on. There's too many cars side by side here to be worrying about it. Look at the Beetle, the Talisman, muscling Swoyle. Swoyle's still trying to recover from the lap 1 incident we saw, where the two McLarens sort of shuffling each other out, doing each other no favours whatsoever. Ahead here, we've got...
I'm back now.
Yeah,
can anybody hear me?
Yeah, you're back. You're firmly back in the room. Welcome. Thanks for sorting that. That's much better. And we have got kind of a 7-car mad battle here. We've got Fierpennen at the front of it, Axel chasing in the Peugeot. We've got T5 in the Beetle, in the Talisman, who looks like at the first opportunity he's going to try and run it inside the Peugeot. It's not the ideal line here. He's going to be left on the outside, hung out to dry on the left, but he's tried it. He's... There's He's actually got contact the result. Maybe just a moment of impatience there trying to make the move stick, and that could just cost him in the run to the hairpin. Yeah, he's not going to get the opportunity this time around. There are teams, Ender, yes. So I'll try and hook up the teammates when I notice them. So I think the McLaren are running team colours. We've got...
Yeah, it's Solon and Spoil.
Correct, thank you. And you can also see... So there's Solon in his team McLaren. T5 in the Talisman Beetle, so you'll see more than one of those. I think we've had 2 or 3 over both the races. Axel, the only one of his team in this lobby, but he may have teammates in another split, if you're not seeing them. We've got Team Ferraris here, Abramson and Gravender. Gravender, interesting to see where he is at the moment. He was at the head of the race. He is currently a little way off the back. We may have lost Gravender to an incident there. Without my replay feature working, we're just going to have to speculate, I'm afraid. I could do a lobby rejoin, but I kind of risk botching the lobby for everyone, so I'm going to stay and hang tight. The Fire having not pitted, now a country mile up the road. However, let's see what happens on the pit stop cycles. Currently can't imagine any car is on a stronger strategy yet, but I hope I'm proven wrong. Nice run from Fearapendant at the moment. He is on really old super soft tyres, so he's kind of applied his one stint that he's allowed very early in the race, and I think that's just to recover as much ground lost by that turn 1 off that he had into the gravel. T5, he's on slightly older softs, so I think there's a few cars back here. We're going to shuffle forward with strategy because fresh softs on Abramson here. We're at the magic midpoint of the race when no strategies quite make sense, but the battles haven't stopped. We've got 3 cars fighting through probably the tightest sector of the track. Oh, come on boys, too wide through there, it does not stick. They've kind of kept hold of it by the skin of their teeth, I've got to say. West ahead of this pack, but it's scanning in the Mercedes. With a lot of pressure now from Egerlanders. I'm going to try and go on board, but we're getting all the glitches here. Let me just try and refresh this for you. Here we go, we joined the group. So, oh, he's made contact by the looks of it, which will hamper his run. Just going to thank Gran Turismo for the lack of keyboard options here. I'm gonna do the old unplug and plug in. You guys enjoy yourselves. I'm going to reset this equipment. And they're still side by side into the hairpin. This is relentless.
Yeah, they're like buffaloes right now. Just going up side by side, making some contact. You can see now we're going up on the inside.
Lovely move. We got on board just in time to see it.
Pointing and shooting.
Let's go on board from the rear view now. That what half the race gone called the wang cam, better known as the wing cam, I think. But that Audi looks like it's pretty clear. There's no fight back from the Mercedes. It looked like those tyres far too strong and the pace of the Audi there. Gravender, whoa, and it looked more like Axel had nowhere to go there, almost running himself out of road.
A rough, but still a pretty clean move.
Right, we've got all the positions back as well, so I can now see Stille Gadan running at solid 11th. Solon down in 12th. Now is that pit stop again? He is on fresh mediums. He's either going to do, we expect, a short stint, or he's going to run that tyre to the end. Curious to see.
But if he's on mediums, what are Spoil running?
So if we look back at Swoil, he's on a super soft, so this is going to get spicy very quickly. I'll try and bring the onboard view here from Swoil himself. Now, if these two, they haven't really given each other much space as teammates yet, so
No, there's no team orders.
No.
You might be a bit more careful, but in Solon's case, it doesn't really look like that in T1. But yeah, it seems like Solon is letting Soil pass.
Yeah, they heard what you
He knows
said
he's
and
on
decided to
soft
counter
tires.
exactly what you were trying to say. So
Yeah.
trust them. Yeah, well, smart move. I think that could help Solon run quicker on the mediums. So really smart driving. To
Yeah,
fire.
they're on different strategies, so there's no reason to hold each other back because there's also a team championship as well.
That's true. These guys have got to look out for each other. I'm trying to catch up with this battle here. We're on board with West. Fire a clear nearly 20 seconds up the road. But the fight for second is at maximum heat. We've got West chasing Abramson. The RX right in the exhaust pipes of the Ferrari, which itself is hanging on to Firapan. And it looks like he might be faster.
Whoop.
So much so we've had a
Hard
bit
contact.
of a... Yeah, classic kind of one car bounces, the next car bounces. Nothing they can do. Well, everyone managing to keep it clean. There's space behind for West, so no immediate threat. He can focus on the three guys ahead. It looks like a bit of breathing
How is
space.
Firipin's tires? They must be
Yeah.
shot through hell or something.
We'll go and check. We've got pit stops from Firipin finally. He's run half the race on super softs again. Possibly. No, Firipin's pitted already. I'm mixing my strategies there.
Yeah, Firipin after that contact, it went straight into the pit lane. So I'm thinking that his tires must be really worn out or something.
Yeah,
That's why he's losing a lot of pace.
So Fire, we've seen it before. He's kind of holding on to those softs for over half the race now, easily. Fuel is going to force him in soon, but looking at the strategy, there's no reason to think this won't just be a one-stop again, which really suggests that the biggest fight we're going to have is for P2 at the moment. Hey Vegeta, I think by some bad luck I've just deleted that replay. I had to make some space for my replays in this broadcast, so by some bad fortune I don't believe I have it for you. I think someone might. If I remember who does, I'll ask them for you. So apologies on that. There's some great liveries here, Arden, you're right. I just love what the guys do here. They look like they could be like GTE competition liveries. Colorways of West in the RX. He had a similar team colorway in the Jag, but it really looks good with the Mazda. Quite a good handling car actually, so maybe why it's showing strongling.
They're still rolling with the Team Media Pro. I think it's the longest running team of all Swedish Racing League.
Do you know if they're actually sponsored by those guys, Media Pro? That's a big old media company in Spain.
I'm not too sure, but I think it's Bornhall's own company.
Wow, I'm going to have to ask him because there's a link there because I worked on a Media Pro animation not so long ago. So I'm going to have to ask him about that.
Yeah, all deliveries like the Swedish Racing League and all that stuff, and the website is made by Bornhall.
Okay, well, so I'm going to have to go
sort
investigate
of our
that.
media guru.
Wow, what a mad connection if that's the case. Well, anyway, back to the race. Enough of my personal connections. Let's get back to the fight. We've got Stillig Dan here. We've not seen him up in the running yet. It could be at the end of a stint. He is. That fuel is going to force him in, but he is currently in the train of Egerlanders, who is keeping Gravender very honest in the P4 Ferrari. In the next couple of laps, I think we should see the strategies start to settle down, and we can start to see actually who's filing out in the top 6 positions. Fire, it's only a 4-second lead now, having made his stop. He did pit last lap. I did catch that in the corner of my eye. So no mistakes there, but the question is, so the next runner West is owed a pit stop. Possibly Abramson, yeah, with that fuel he's going to have to pit. It doesn't look like there's a car in immediate sight that's going to be on a similar strategy. We're looking really at Swoyle at best here. In contention, who's...
Yeah, but Fire is going to have to run the medium tires either if he's gonna run the rest of the race on medium tires or if he's gonna switch it up.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
So that means he's either going to be slowed down for the rest half of the race or lose time in a pit stop.
Yeah,
so that's gonna be interesting.
And with the lead he's got, there's every potential he could probably squeeze enough pace out of the less than ideal tyre and just save himself the risk of a pit stop. But hey, we predicted it wrong before, so can easily get that wrong again. So everyone just slightly spread out whilst final pit stops are due. Axel with Solon, I'm just going to see if their strategies look similar at the moment. Fresh super softs, yeah. Solon with brand new tyres. I think we're going to see...
Yeah, that's why he dropped down.
Maximum
he went
aggression.
out on the mediums, raced a few laps, and then super softs.
Yeah, well spotted there, Mixter, because now these two we should see file back up to the mid-pack at least, if not the top 5, because a lot of the midfield runners are at the end of their mid-stint. Looks like a move on the inside. It's late, but I think Axel may be thinking better of defending at this point, showing some awareness.
The grippier tire.
We've got a car off. I'm going to try and find it for you. It's Abramson, and he isn't... It doesn't look like he's continuing. I'm afraid... I've got my replays back. That's good news. Oh, we just missed it, but it looked like possibly was on the wrong line outside of that corner. That's really going to cost him his race at this late stage. Terrible luck for the guy. Hopefully not an incident. Sorry we didn't catch that, actually. I'm pleased to say we've got replays back in the house. So
are you only using one key for the replay or all 3?
There's all 3, so that was the max replay, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I must have caught him far too late to see the result. Yeah, it would have been great to see what caused that, unfortunately.
Yeah, it might just be dropping one tire.
Quite possibly so. And speaking of,
there we have a Renault.
There's an Axel going around. Oh, we've caught him. We'll watch the replay, but I think that was pretty self-inflicted there. He's got no pressure from behind. Only really frustrated with himself here. He's had a good run, and just almost having one eye on the battle ahead has just taken his braking point away. And unfortunately, both he and Abramson are now firmly at the bottom end of the grid. Bad luck for these fellas. We've still got Egerlanders up in the top 3 here. He may owe a pit stop due to the condition of those tyres. Interesting though, is he going to try and make them last? It's a risk if he does. You sense maybe a quick stop for fast tyres could be a move there.
Yeah, if he's going to try and make those tyres last with that car, he's going to be like Bambi on ice while it's 3-4 laps left. Yeah,
not a great look at Autopolis, I've got to admit. Watch out here for Firpellen. He is no longer due to stop. We expect him to run to the end. He's already in 6th. West in for his final stop. Let's see where he cycles out. So Egerland is in. West in. Erdin in. There's some late stoppers as we were expecting. That's going to bring T5 back into play. T5 promoted possibly. Oh, but he's got Audi rejoining. Egerland is not with enough pace. And providing T5's able to keep that, yeah, he's kept it on the road. Nicely done. He, for now, can fight on the soft tyres, though. Watch out for the fresh tyres of Egerlanders, who we could... Well, really, now's his time. He's on the freshest tyres he's going to have. T5 Black is sort of babying a few lap older tyres, but by no means a slouch. So we will watch the battle for 5th. Also, potential battle here between Firpellen and West. West, having just come out of the pits, I think may have an edge here. So for West, he's looking for a clean run and just avoiding the attention of Firpellen. Swoyle now.
And how does Firpellen's tires look?
Yeah, let's look. So
bit worn down, but he's definitely going to run to them.
Yeah, so I think maybe it's in the interest of Firpellen to to glue onto West's fresh rubber until that car starts to show signs of wear. So
Is Svoil going to pit again, or?
yeah, I was thinking that
really high
myself. He's going to have to pit.
Yeah, he has to pit.
Okay, so that second place is not really truthful to the end result here, unless he's got a miracle fuel save going on. There we go. So the final shuffle takes place, and as we expected, T5 Black already under pressure now from Egerlanders. Egerlanders having just pitted on a charge. Has the Audi got the straight line pace over the Beetle to make that stick? They're still side by side. He's deep under braking is T5. Holds the outside line. We've seen West pull this off a couple of times. Oh.
Yeah, he's gonna lose a bit of speed there.
Yeah.
Dropping the tires.
Noble effort from T5. I can see a battle developing further back, which I'll try and tune into in a moment. Let's just keep an eye out, because the run into this hairpin can often bring some craziness on the brakes. No, he's got it covered really well there. And now look at the train here, scanning, and
now we have a bunch of cars.
yeah, less than ideal
1,
super
2,
softs
3,
here.
4, 5, 6.
What a battle we're going to have here. This could be the biggest fight for the end of the race. We've got Scanningen, we've got Gravender. Gravender on fresh and
Solon as
soft
well.
tyres. Solon, yeah, on super softs. So complete mix of compounds. Erden goes in, under braking, defending really hard from Swoil. So Swoil has just seen a raft of cars join him as he's come out of the pits. Probably cursing a little bit that he's not ahead of that pack of 4, to be honest. You would love to come out in front of it, wouldn't you? So that could really hamper his ability to go for the top 6 positions here. But he's sure going to fight, and he's still right in it. But he's at the back of the train with a lot of work to do. Look out for Stiliga down there in the co-RX, the RX car. I mean, they're relentless here. They know there's 5 laps to go after this one. It's kind of getting to all or nothing time here. Fire, we know. He's really had an unchallenged race. He did the work early on the super soft tyre to clear himself. Although...
No, he started on the soft tires.
It was the soft tyre,
Did the
thank
work.
you.
Switched to mediums, and then I think he drove just a few laps on those, and then switched to super softs.
And it looks like he had the luxury of time in the splits to kind of hold that, because he's still 22 seconds up the road. We've got Fierpenner now losing the trail of West, so West with a real opportunity for second here. Kind of potentially unchallenged, but he's got to keep it all 4 wheels on the road. Egerlanders now running strongly ahead of T5 Black, who I'm going to try and show here. T5 Black not able to stay in the tow. It looks like, I say that, it's touch and go. He's just inside it, so let's watch towards the end of that lap. It's all down to whether he's got the grip through this sector to stay in touch with Egerlanders. He could do with doing so, because Gravender here, not hanging around, fairly fresh soft tyres. Gravender
You can
maybe
see
on
now
the charge.
Solon making a move.
Yeah, well spotted. Oh,
Or is
no,
it
I've
Swoil?
gone-
Swoil
it's
making a
Swoil.
move.
Well spotted. We've got Swoil inside the Mercedes. He's made it stick. And Stiliga down as much as he can try and find a way through. There really isn't much of an opening there. Very aggressive though. Is he going to get a run out of the final corner? Let's see if we can go on board. Listen to that rotary engine hammering the high notes. The run just does not look like it's enough to go into turn 1. We'll step ahead. Scanning in here, no further challenge on Swoil. So his interests are going to be the ever increasing size of that RX car. Woo! We're into the final 4 laps, guys. And pretty much anything can happen here. We've got a pretty dominant leading car in the form of Fire in the Beetle. Only mistake now comes between him and a second win of the 2 races. Stiliga is still putting up the fight, trying to hook that nose inside the wide and stable Mercedes. Not an easy task. The Mercedes has got the grunt, but can we see here, has he got the run? on board now with Scanningen. He's gone for it. It's a late move. There's contact. Not enough contact to put either car off the track, but I think SSGr3 just backing off a little there. Too heavy a contact's going to put you in trouble with the stewards post-race if you make a position, so maybe thinking better of it. He's got enough laps to try again. More important now that he stays glued to that car. Erdin here. Solid P7, but Swoyle just behind, and this battle for 9th looking like it's a battle for the podium. They're fighting so hard. Awesome work from these guys. Solon now running quite a way off the back of the field, I'm noticing, so I think we may have missed an incident there, but he's certainly off the train now. Looking like the top 10 even is a little unlikely, but we'll wait to find out. We've got side-by-side outside line, and Scanningen has given the position. He's brilliant move from SSGr3 there. I didn't expect the move to stick. And now has to defend.
Me neither, that's why I'm so quiet. Just holding my breath.
I almost couldn't say his name because I was like, surely not. Surely not, but he has. And looking at the pace, if Scanningen has the grip and the consistency, I think it's going to take a bold move or a dive from Scanningen to recover that now. Let's keep an eye on Swoyle. And also, I'm seeing two cars very close up the road for P3. So Egerlanders now harrowing the pace of Veerpennen, because I believe Egerlanders having pitted a bit later in the sequence. Those tyres looking good, and we jump to Veerpennen, who is now hanging on, but sideways.
By a thread.
Yeah, that Audi is in full attack mode. Let's tune into these guys as we approach what is going to be the final 2 laps of the race. Has Veerpennen got the grip even? Look at how much he's having to fight towards the apex. You can see it even from this distance.
Yeah, he's pushing really hard because he can see that Veerpennen is dropping further back down, like right into his lap. So he's just trying to push as hard as he can and catch up, and maybe he can force a mistake or just overtake.
Yeah, and
due to having more grip in his tires.
Exactly, and the closer he falls into the slipstream, the more distracting that car is going to get. Veerpennen will know exactly what he's against here. He will know he's somewhat of an underdog, having tried this much longer strategy in a car which isn't known to be kindest on its tyres. So that is a bold move. Fair play though, because Veerpennen, we've seen him not have the perfect run in the races, so the recovery has been really impressive here.
Yeah, and you can see now he's down to almost half a second in just half a lap, so I think he's definitely going to go for it.
Yeah, and surely now lining up for the beginning of the final lap. If you can get that move into turn 1 and defend into turn 2, you're giving yourself a huge opportunity to hang tight through the twistier stuff. So, especially with Veerpennen's car, which barely has a tyre left in it.
I don't think he has any threads left.
Yeah, huge push, but that
a bit of a wobble there.
Yeah, we saw in the first race that Swoyle got 2 wheels in this exact point here, and he lost a position opportunity for doing it. So this Audi, whilst it's a stronger car, he can't make a mistake here. There is a limited amount of time on track left. Fire firmly starting his final lap. He's already through the first sector. He's a confident leader here. It really would be a huge error to rob him of this victory. Let's keep an eye on the battle for 3rd. The podium is not yet decided. We've got West ahead here. Clear air for him at the moment. He just needs to keep it on track. Veerpennen, however, no chance. He needs the run of his life through this lap. Yeah, it is a huge performance from Fire. He's really asserted a level on this championship that we've not seen rivaled yet, so fair play to that fella. Hagee, you joined us for the final lap of 2 40-minute races. Feel free to catch up later, man, because it hasn't really stopped. Thanks to everyone who stuck around and watched. It's still not over. We've got Egerlanders in the fresher soft tyre Audi, chasing Veerpannen, whose tyres have been on for about 3 weeks, and you can see it by the way that car is being nurtured through the final sector now we're coming into. Twisty.
There seems to be a serious battle in the pack behind these two guys as well.
Yeah, typically need 7 cameras here. A quick nod to fire. He crosses the line. He's 23 seconds ahead. West coming through to take second place. I am going to try and watch this battle. Fair credit to West. He's raced solidly there. And we can see, yeah, a 4-car battle developing behind this one. So I will try and bring you as much as I can. Huge defensive effort from Veerpannen here. He's nearly safe. Congratulations to West. There he goes. Crosses in second. Mega result from one of our championship front runners. Veerpannen, somehow, I didn't think he would do it. A massive result
But he
there.
made it.
And here we go.
But how does it look here?
It's T5 leading the Ferrari, leading the Beetle. And it's Swoyle with a slightly frustrating 8th, I'm sure. He was at the back of the pack for that whole last half of the race. Could not quite get the run. Let's see if we can catch the final guys. So Solon intense behind Stili Kadan. Scanningen in 11th. It's Axel running in 12th. And Abramson, some bad luck there because we saw him have trouble in the final sector. It's just cost him. I'm just going to see if I can see any more of a replay now. We're out of replays. It's Axel in 12th, Abramson 13th. Unlucky there. He was running in the top 5 before. So got a feel for those who are unfortunate enough to run themselves out of road. And for the second time tonight, it's congratulations to Mr. PR1 Fire.